What is up, GOAT World? It's me, your boy JDZ, and I'm back with another GOAT format video. But this time it's going to be a little bit different. Calicifer from the GoatCommunityITALIA reached out to me, and he was saying, JD, I hear you want to do some commentary. What do you think about doing commentary for the GOAT Championship Series number 5? And I was like, absolutely, I'm all for it. I'm passionate about Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm passionate about GOAT format. It's something that I really want to do. And what is better than high-level, in-person GOAT format? This is the time. So if you were not aware, and I'm sure if you're watching this video, you probably are aware, but for those who aren't aware, in Italy, they've been doing these large in-person tournaments for quite some time now. And a lot of high-ranking, heavy-hitting players show up to these tournaments. And I'm talking 50, 70, 80, 120-person tournaments happening in Italy frequently. And this one is number 5. Number 5 took place December the 19th, and it had 88 registered players show up, fight it out, and whittle themselves down to 2. And today, I will be covering the championship round of that GCI Championship Series Volume 5. Introduction to the players. On the right, in the black sleeves, we have Ludovico Rizzo. I'm sorry if I'm saying his name wrong. My Italian is very poor. Ludovico Rizzo, you may have seen him around in the Discord. You may have seen him around on Dueling book. He did make a top 4 appearance in the GCI Championship Series Volume 4. So he's no slouch. On the left is someone you may know. His name is Gabriel Bianchi, aka Mr. Man. Mr. Man qualified for the 2020, I believe it's 2020 or 2021 Worlds. He also won GFCI Championship Series Volume 2. So again, 2 very talented players, 2 very skilled players, with Mr. Man being on Chaos Control and with Rizzo being on Chaos Turbo in the black sleeves, Control in the pink sleeves. GoatCommunityITALIA Championship Series Volume 5. Let's go. On the left, you have Mr. Man. On the right, you got Rizzo, who's going to come out on top. Stay tuned to find out. So here we are at the finals. I'm assuming, I bet these competitors are very, very tired. They're exhausted. You've been thinking all day. It's a very mental game. I mean, but these guys appear to be very, very skilled, very poised in these situations. But no matter what you do, when you're sitting at the final table for a championship game, you got to be feeling nerves. Got the dice roll. We got a 2 and we got a 3. Nice firm handshake to get this thing started. Mr. Man probably will be going first since he rolled that 3. Rizzo is hoping he can get some advantage and get back in this thing pretty early. All right, fellas, good luck and have fun. Withdraw. Oh, hate to see it. Starts it off with the delinquent duo, so that's 1,000 off of Mr. Man. Dice roll. Hits the Tsukiyomi. What will Rizzo throw down here? Thinks about it for a second. Gotta love the tapping thinking. Sends out the Gravekeeper Spy. He's on Turbo. I would like to see. Not a bad choice. Thinking again. Go ahead and ditch the Thunder Dragon. Get 2 more. I mean, you absolutely hate getting duoed your first hand, especially in a championship game like this. It's always going to add a little bit more stress that probably wouldn't be there, but if you're champion, he can fight through it. Go ahead and hits the Nobleman, hits the Magician of Faith. As a Turbo player, you probably don't want to see that either. Each player tossing 3. And I believe if you want to see a link to these decks, we can go ahead and get that in the description. Nice cut. Oh, but he gets the Pot of Greed, so he can get his 2 cards back and kind of get back into some of the advantage that he lost with that duo. Pot of Greed into Upstart. Let's see if Rizzo can make something happen here. He's thinking. Go ahead and sets 1. Sets 2. Go ahead with the T set and pass. Mr. Man draws. He goes upstart of his own. I'm seeing a lot of OCG cards here. I believe they allow OCG in the GOAT Community Italian tournaments. I don't know in the States. I don't know if we allow. Make sure you reach out to your tournament organizer before you show up with OCG cards. So I'm not sure everyone takes them. Very cool though. I would totally take them if I ran a tournament. Nice little hand shuffle. He go ahead and noblements of his own. What's he gonna hit here? Dekoichi. Oh, you hate to see it. So he's got the Fates and he's got the Dekoichis all out of the deck. I don't know what Rizzo's thinking right now, but he can't be in a positive mindset because that's a very big hit. You got the Face and the Dekoichis all out of the deck early in the game like this. Going hits the cut. Sets and passes. So you got two set cards. Rizzo's go ahead and check in the graveyard. His Chaos is live, but he decides not to bring anything down and go ahead and passes back over to Mr. Man. Mr. Man hits the Graceful Charity. Oh, I can already see what's happening next. Mr. Man sends out the 2 Thunder Dragons. Then goes into Pot of Greed. Things are really cooking for Mr. Man. This is not a good spot for Rizzo. Sometimes the game goes like this. You just got to hang tough, and hopefully you can get some advantage back and get back in this thing. Going hits for 16, and he going and flips the Mirror Force. Mr. Man thinks for a second. And he decides to go for it. Book of Moon here to save the Tribe Infecting Virus. And he's going to pass back over. Book of Moon on the Tribe. And he goes Heavy Storm here. This man changed Scapegoats. That's 4 tokens. Rizzo going sets 1. It's really hard to get your engine going when you get your stuff knocked like that, but he's hanging on. He's doing everything he can to try to get back in. And he takes the 16. He just continues to swing in, and he goes and rings on the Tribe. That's not a bad ring. But as a turbo player, you definitely don't want to be this down in advantage. It's really hard to come back when you get so far behind, but these players are very talented. If anyone can do it. Rizzo gets a Delinquent Duo of his own. Dice roll. 6 is the choice for Rizzo. Hits the Sword. Mr. Man go and tosses the Heavy Storm, leaving 1 in hand. Draw. Again, another pass from Rizzo. He knows he's playing against control, and if he starts putting down too many monsters right now, he knows that Metamorphosis and Thousand Eyes is potentially can happen. So he's not trying to commit too much to the board, I think. And he's just trying to play the slow game and maybe catch up on some resources, and then he can come back. And he can come back with a swing. But with control players, you don't want to give them too many resources themselves. At the same time, you don't want to overcommit and lose out. Mr. Man going and flips the Royal Decree. That's not a good spot for Rizzo. Chaos Turbo players do play a heavy amount of trap cards. Then he throws down the BLS. Oh, 3,000 to the face. Hate to see it. Hate to see it. Rizzo needs to make something happen quick. He got a BLS on the board. That's an OCG BLS. And he got the Korean. Oh, got a BLS of his own. He set it up and he played it. He played it about as well as you could. He was holding that BLS and he ended up luring it out. Will it be enough? Will it be enough to hold off Mr. Man? And then draw phase MST on the Royal Decree. He lets it go. This might be enough to put him back in this thing. He went for the meta play and he judgment on the meta. He read it. He knew it was coming. That was an absolutely great play with the MST followed by the Solemn Judgment. This man passes sitting on 3 tokens. Defense position BLS. Jargreed gets one. Upstart gets another one. Flips to attack mode. Go ahead and kills 2 tokens. Oh no. Can he? Mr. Man goes for another metamorphosis. Can he stop this one? Is there another Book of Moon, or is there another Solemn Judgment set that can protect him from this Thousand Eyes? He's going Thousand Eyes. He summons him in attack position. Is there a response from Rizzo? Quick graveyard check. Probably trying to see if he's got any more metas or if he's got any more. And then he goes Torrential Tribute here. Wow. I gotta say, I don't mind the play. I don't mind the play. And he comes in with Kaiko and just ends the duel there. I don't hate the play. It was really good. It was very, very well done. Way to stay poised in those conditions. You know, in that moment, a lot of times players make. I know I do. You get tunnel vision. You get caught up. But champion level players, they can see right through that, and he made the right call there with Torrential and going into it with the Kaiko. That could have backfired pretty bad, but in this case it did not. So now they're side decking, and Rizzo is thinking, man, I got to get some better cards faster. He got on me pretty quick. I'm assuming he's hoping he can turn that turbo engine on, maybe not get some of his power flips banished so quickly. Mr. Man's probably thinking, I want to do more of the exact same thing that just happened. I want to get some good cards pretty quick. I want to make sure I keep my advantage and maintain control of this game. Side decking, I expect to see some mind controls coming in. I expect to see maybe some more Kaikos coming in. I expect to see Tsukiyomi's coming in to try to combat Thousand Eyes Restrict. Anything can happen. These are top level players. This is a championship game. Nerves are probably going through the roof. But guess what? You know, we got to keep thugging still. Man, I wish I could play some in real life Yu-Gi-Oh! Man, this looks so fun. I'm coming to Italy one day, and I'm going to enter one of these tournaments. We'll see. Get some good pile shuffling going. One of these days, we're gonna do this live, and I'll be able to provide this commentary live. Hopefully, that's the plan. And while we're waiting on these games to start, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe to Goat Community Italia YouTube page, and mine too, if you feel so inclined. JDZ plays Goats. Shameless plug. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting back on to round number 2 of the Goat Community Italia Championship Series, Volume 5. Again, on your left, we have Mr. Man. On your right, we have Rizzo. Mr. Man's up 1-0. So obviously Rizzo's going to decide to go first. Rizzo comes down with a humble T set and V set. Got 2 in the back row and pass. Stand by man. He hits him with the nobleman across out. Rizzo thinks for a moment. He's thinking. Nobleman across out. Could it be the Magician of Faith? Is it the Gravekeeper's Spy? Does he want the Solemn Judgment this? Desert Sunlight. What's going to happen? And he lets it go. It's a Spirit Reaper. Brings in the Spirit Reaper game 2 to eat some of these Nobleman across outs and eat some of these mind controls probably. But Rizzo goes Jar Greed for 1. Jar Greed for 2. Upstart for 3. Wow. Okay. Plus 1,000, bringing Mr. Man up to 9,000. Hard summons a Decoichi. Again, I love the aggression. You get out there and you just swing. Hits the Sangan. Sangan goes to the GY. Opponent grabs the Magician of Faith. Magician of Faith. Not the Sinister Serpent. That's very interesting. A lot of times, control players, they can't wait to get that Sinister Serpent in their hand. In this case, he goes for Magician of Faith. Maybe he's already holding the Sinister Serpent. You never know. And then pass over to Mr. Man. Mr. Man goes ahead and sets what we can assume to be the Magician of Faith, or maybe he's bluffing. And then passes. Rizzo go and slaps down the Tsukiyomi. Tsukiyomi's good. Hits the Decoichi. Flips the Decoichi. Get that effect. That's a good way to get that effect without having to set and worry about getting your darks knocked. Go ahead and draw into the Thunder Dragon. Go and rips that Thunder Dragon. Gets 2 more to the hand. Thinking a little bit how he wants to go about this next part. Well, and sets 1, sets 2, and attacks in. Hits the Sinister Serpent and attacks in with the Decoichi. So he's trying to bait something to get that Sinister Serpent. Rizzo, either he didn't have it or he kind of saw that coming. Tsukiyomi returns back to the hand. Mr. Man draws. Sinister Serpent comes back to the hand. I really love those Goat Community Italia mats. I don't know where they get those. I mean, I'm sure you probably have to win. I don't have to win one of those mats, but I definitely want to get one. They look really nice. That Dark Magician, Chaos Sorcerer. It's probably Dark Magician on there. He goes meta here. into Thousand Eyes to absorb the Dekoichi. Go ahead and cracks in for a smooth 14. Rizzo decides to just take it because he knows he's sitting on that Tsukiyomi, and that Tsukiyomi can out Thousand Eyes all day, every day, so he can't be feeling too bad about it. But it's... three in hand. Tsukiyomi, he goes for it. Does Mr. Man have the Book of Moon? Does he have the Mirror Force? Does he have the Saku? He's thinking for a brief moment because he knows that if he plays one of those cards, Solemn Judgment might meet him. He's trying to think how he wants to do it. He goes for the book, and it works. It passes over. He draws. Stand by, grab that serpent back. I miss my serpent so many times on Dueling Book. I wish in person you can kind of see it a little better. Flips 1,000 Eyes. Declare effect on the Tsukiyomi. And then just sets. And pass. That's set. Rizzo draws for turn. Go ahead and sets one of his own. Passes. And when Thousand Eyes gets out, things tend to slow down. As the control player, this is kind of where you want to be. As a turbo player, I mean, you're not feeling too bad. He doesn't have any stats on him right now. And you can kind of regather some of your resources and kind of get back into it. So neither player is feeling too bad about it. I can only assume. Thunder Dragon's up. Mr. Man go ahead and grabs 2, adds them to the hand. So now he has light. Now Mr. Man has his light and dark. So his chaos is now live. Is that 5? I think he has 5 in hand. But again, as a turbo player, you're not feeling too bad about it. Draw. Going up starts again. Trying to dig through that deck, get into something good, get into the win condition, get into that chaos, get into those draw cards. Checking the graveyard. You realize chaos is live. Not a lot of Trinity in there. You can just feel, you can feel the intensity. Like on Dueling Book, which I think is great, but there's no way Dueling Book can capture the intensity that these two gentlemen are displaying right now. You can just see the body movement, the body language. You can feel the decision, the thought trees that are going through both of these players right now. One light, one dark. Go ahead and brings out the Chaos Sorcerer, so it's chaos time. Rizzo commits to the board first with his chaos, banishes the 1,000 Eyes, sends Tsukiyomi back to the graveyard. Flip summon the Magician of Faith. Faith the whole time. Gets back the upstart to draw 1. Trying desperately to get that engine started. If he could just get some Pot of Greed, some Graceful Charity, he's gonna crack this thing wide open probably, is what he's thinking. So I guess that translates to any language. Like I said, I can't speak Italian very well, but when someone says, "How many cards you got in your hand?" you know the Linguin Duo is coming. So he's like, "Hey man, how many cards you got in your hand?" He's like, "Oh damn, 5. Duo? You know, is that what you're gonna do to me?" But Rizzo, I guess, didn't have it. And we play on. Sacrifice for the Mobius the Frost Monarch. Love to see it. Coming out the side deck, coming in strong. Hits the Royal Decree, which is a fantastic hit. Mobius go ahead and swings into the set Magician of Faith to get back. What do you get here? I'm probably grabbing Metamorphosis, if I'm being completely honest. I'm going to go Metamorphosis, and then I'm going to try to snatch this Mobius, swing into this Chaos Sorcerer. Because you know he's got to send his Serpent online. It's a high risk play. Getting that Royal Decree Mobius like that, you don't want to see that. That kind of stinks for Mr. Man. That would give him a little more comfort swinging into this sort. But now he's got 3. One of those has definitely got to be a Solemn Judgment. The other one's probably going to be some type of trap that can interact with his Thousand Eyes. So he's got to be really, really stressing what to do at this point. But maybe, he also may be thinking like, hey, I'm playing Royal Decree, so maybe my opponent took out some of those traps, and he's not as trap heavy. So it's definitely a high risk situation, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So he go ahead and makes the Metamorphosis play. Is there a response here? No response. He says it's all good. Thousand Eyes comes to the field. That's 1 down. So he's going to go ahead and declare that effect. Will there be a Book of Moon here? Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Thousand Eyes Restrict has priority only to declare his effect. He does not have a priority to resolve that effect. So Book of Moon will in fact stop that from happening. And also this Regeki break that just took place will also stop that from occurring. So Regeki break happens and Thousand Eyes falls to the graveyard, which, I mean, Mr. Man had to have seen that coming. That was a very high risk, high reward situation. These are things that just happen sometimes. So continuing on. Let's see if he's got a backup plan to come back from the Regeki break on the Thousand Eyes. Plan 1 did not go well. Plan 2, let's see how so he's thinking. Oh, yeah. So he goes to play the Scapegoats, and he already went for a summon this turn. You can't play Scapegoats the same turn you summon. The judges were there. They called it pretty quick. Yeah, he goes to play he hard plays the Scapegoats because he doesn't want to get them in phase. But the judge stepped in there pretty quick because you can't do that. He already summoned this turn. You can't summon and play Scapegoats on the same turn. And sure enough, he does. He read the MST correctly, and Rizzo, Mr. Man made the great read. He knew the MST was there, and he tried it, and it just so happened it didn't work out. That was a last ditch effort, if you will. Rizzo going switches the Sork to attack mode. One swings in for that good 47. Rizzo going sets 1, sets the spell and trap, and passes. This man going swinging through the graveyard, gets back that serpent. He's got 3 in hand. Go ahead and sets 1. Metamorphosis again. He's got 2 of them. Okay. Does he have another way to interact with another Thousand Eyes coming down? Thousand Eyes hits the board. He rings on the declaration of effect. Oh, so he had another out to it. That's gotta hurt for Mr. Man. You hate to see that. You don't want to be a part of that. Checking the GY again. He does have another light. He does have another dark. More chaos is live. Go ahead and sorks up here, bringing out, banishing the Thousand Eyes, brandishing the Thunder Dragon. Priority, banish the Sork. And then he goes 1 light, 1 dark, brings out the Blackluster Soldier. So he's trying to bait some type of trap with that Sork. Didn't quite work, so he's like, okay, maybe it's all clear, and he go ahead and brings out the grandfather of them all, the Blackluster Soldiers on the field. Banishes the face down, which was a great choice. Ends up being the Magician of Faith. What? And then he hits him with the Soul Release. Man, what a tech. What a tech. Love to see it. Hits him with the Soul Release. Banishing the lights, the darks. The space, the upstart. Wow, that did not see that coming. Wow, banishes with the Soul Release. What do you guys think of Soul Release? That is really cool. He hits him with the Set Snatch Steal. That's what attack, and that, my friends, will be the end of game 2. But that Soul Release play was really cool. I enjoyed that. Very good game by both players. We're going to game 3. What's better? Championship. Everything's on the line. You got 2 great players. They're fighting hard. Going into game 3. It doesn't get much better than this, folks. This is why you tune in. This is why you play the game. They say BLS is definitely cursed. You put him on the field, he's getting snatched 100% of the time. You gotta have it. Wow, what a match. What a match. All right. Still side decking, still side decking. A little friendly banter. I mean, the nerves have kind of dissipated a little, but still, you know, this is for it all. This is the championship. This is the championship. This is it. It all comes down to this. Well, who could ask for a better turnout? An 88-person event, whittling it down to a back and forth game. Two best decks, going head up for it all. Winner takes all. It doesn't get better than this, folks.
Ieri ho detto che vincevo la tua lista. Minchia, tutto questo si vedrà. Sì, sì, assolutamente. Non vale che mettere la musichetta. Fai il simbolo del paga la mossa. Paga la mossa. Il finale l'ho fatto, nessuno l'ha commentato. L'ho fatto così.
All right. Shuffling's complete. Side deck is complete. Let's get it on. Round 3. For all the marbles. Mr. Man decides to go first. Obviously, going to hit those Thunder Dragons. Love to see it. Didn't double up. One sets 1. Sets 2. Passes over to Rizzo. Rizzo draws. Hits him with a Nobleman across out on the Sangan. Upstart. Rizzo's probably dying for a pot of greed. He hasn't seen that thing all day. He is absolutely wanting to have it. Pot of greed and Chaos Turbo are like peanut butter and jelly. I don't know if you guys eat peanut butter and jelly in Italy, but they go together great. You should try it if you don't. He go ahead and sets 1. Pass. A Go Control player or the Chaos Control player really wants to kind of keep it slow. The Turbo player wants to go as fast as possible. And whoever can hit their setup first usually walks away with it. Control player's fine with this. Turbo player really wants to get something to happen. Hits him with the Jar Greed. Activates Royal Decree. Raigeki break on the Royal Decree. That's how chains work. Shenanigans. All right. A little deep think, a little thinking. And he decides to just set 1. Set 1 and pass. Mr. Man draws. Checking the GY. It's got nothing in there but a SERP. Mr. Man's thinking. But at the same time, like I mentioned before, as a control player, you don't mind just sitting here, letting your strategy develop, gaining your resources, but at the same time, you don't want to allow your opponent too much time. So he's trying to see how much I want to do, how fast I want to go, and he books that breaker right away. Game 3 of the championship. He go ahead and Raigeki breaks on the set. He go ahead and Raigeki breaks in the standby phase, hitting that Magician of Faith. Great move. You don't want him to get another flip off. And he knows the Sangan's already knocked. I'm going to flip summons the breaker. Summons the Blade Knight. Love to see it. Probably brought that in. Breaker going and swings in for 16. Hits 1. hits 2. That's 2 tokens down. He goes meta. Things are starting to heat up. Thousand Eyes Restrict is back on the field. A little quick check to the graveyard. He has no monsters there so far. Declares effect on the Blade Knight. And then go ahead and crashes. Setting up the graveyard for Rizzo with the light and the dark. Thousand Eyes is just there now with nothing. So that's a clean double up though. Hate to see it if you are Rizzo. Rizzo go ahead and gets the Thunder Dragons. Thunder Dragons up. Adds 2 to the hand. Well, we see a Graceful Charity here. No Graceful, no pot. And he passes. Definitely don't want to just put a monster down and get Thousand Eyes full again. So just sitting there is not the worst thing. But he's got the Tsukiyomi. So he's got the Thousand Eyes Tsukiyomi combo. That puts Rizzo on a clock. So now he's got to start doing something. This is a treacherous situation to be in. We've all been there before if you play this game long enough. And you're going to sets 1 behind it. Passes back over to Rizzo. So now if you got Chaos here, I think you got to play it maybe. Or maybe you can wait a couple more turns, see if you can get that motor fully turned on. And he's thinking here probably about that very thing. I know he's probably got to have Chaos by now. And getting out there to kind of break this thing up may be worth it. But then he's got another token at the same time. And he can just put you right back in if he's got another Metamorphosis. So this is a very, very tough predicament to be in if you're Rizzo. Mr. Man's got to be feeling pretty good about his situation. Rizzo's thinking hard about what to do next. And he go ahead and sets 1 and pass. Declare effect on. I couldn't quite see what that was. I'm fairly certain it's the Sinister Serpent. Or it could be anything. Not sure. Mr. Man go ahead and sets 1, sets 2, passes back over to Rizzo. Finally hits the Graceful Charity. Rizzo's got to be feeling pretty good about that because he knows he has those Thunder Dragons on board, and he got 3 cards. Maybe he can get something started now that he's got a little, a little additional support. Go ahead and discard Thunder Dragon number 1 and Thunder Dragon number 2 with the Graceful Charity. So Chaos is now live. Will that be enough to put him back in this game? He goes with another upstart here. Really try and desperately get this thing going. And he's got the pot. There it is. Now he's cooking. Mr. Man's doing his best to stay composed, but you definitely don't want to see your opponent go Graceful Thunder Dragons into Pot of Greed. Graceful Thunder Dragons upstart Pot of Greed. You don't want to see that happening. especially when you're in a good position in this game. They're both very talented players, and that amount of advantage or that amount of card draw could swing it the other way. So he feels like he's in a good spot. He had his opponent against the ropes, and then this happens, and now he can easily get back into this game. This game is far from over. Rizzo rips the Heavy Storm. Heavy Storm goes down, clearing the Scapegoats, clearing the Judgment, clearing the Sinister Serpent. One Light, One Dark, Chaos Sorcerer comes down. Banishing the Thunder Dragon, banishing the Breaker, the Magical Warrior. Chaos Sorcerer's down in defense, and he's going to banish the Thousand Eyes. Got 5 in hand, 1 set, 1 token. Brings out the Spirit Reaper to attack the token. He does that because he's afraid of that Thousand Eyes coming back on him again. Mr. Man going draws. Standby main. He's checking the graveyard. I believe his Chaos is also live. Is that a Magician of Fate? Will he flip it? It's Dekoichi, the Battle Chanted Locomotive. Go ahead and draws another card. Koichi, go ahead and smacks into Spirit Reaper for that good 1100 damage. Oh, hits him with the Mind Control. Mind Control on the Chaos Sorcerer. Decides to banish him from play. And pass. Set 1, set 2, and pass. Serpent comes back. I couldn't see that graveyard, but I don't think he has another Dark Moss in that graveyard. I know he has more Chaos that he wants to play. Man, I could just feel the intensity through the screen. This has got to be tough. These spots at these critical points in the game, the next move can be your last move in these critical junctures. So you got to play perfect, and no one can be that perfect all the time. So these next moves are very critical for both players. It all comes down to this. Man, I really do love those playmats. Is that Dark Magician or is that Chaos Sorcerer? Now I really can't tell. I don't know. Whoever it is, that dude is absolutely ripped. What's his workout plan? That's what I need to know. What's his diet? What's he eating? Rizzo go ahead and sets 1 and pass. Checks that graveyard again. I can only imagine, but I bet there's just people. I bet there's people just standing all around, just looking at your every move, just trying to, just analyzing what's going on. And you got to play poise under those conditions. It's got to be very difficult to do. Hats off to both these competitors. The intensity is real. You can hear a pin drop. Huge think here. Flips the Magician of Faith. Judgment on the Magician of Faith. Oh my goodness, he didn't want to see it. He did not want to see that happen. That's got to be indicated that his Magician of Faith set on Rizzo's side, because that mind control would just be too strong to get back. That can mean a lot of things. I don't know. Maybe he just didn't want that going off. So he's going to play. He played that judgment there. That was intense. Very intense. What do you guys think of that judgment there? And then he comes down with the Tsukiyomi flip. Jikoichi gets a draw. Into the pot of greed. Love to see it. So draw one. Draw two. Into the Nobleman of Crossout. Nobleman of Crossout. And it was the Faith. He did everything he could to protect that Magician of Faith with that Solemn Judgment. But it turns out it just was not enough, because the Jikoichi into the pot of greed, into the Nobleman of Crossout is something that does happen. He left the card out for the shuffle there. All right. Checks the graveyard again. He's thinking hard. 5 in hand. The tension is thick. Currently, Rizzo's Chaos is not live. He just fanned through his graveyard. There are no dark monsters in there. He's got to have Chaos in hand. No way to get it on the field. Mr. Man's looking through his extra deck. Maybe a Metamorphosis play is coming. Yeah, he's grabbing that Dark Fire Dragon. Looks like a Metamorphosis play may be coming. Checking the GY one more time. What's it going to be, folks? He goes meta on the Tsukiyomi to bring down the one, the only Dark Fire Dragon. Hits the board. One light, one dark. Brings down the Chaos Sorcerer, and that is it, folks. That is it, folks. That's all she wrote. Mr. Man, go ahead and takes the GOAT format. Mr. Man, go ahead and takes the GOAT Championship Series Volume 5. Oh, in what fashion? Very talented play on both sides. I didn't see a lot of mistakes made there. That's just the way it shakes up sometimes. Not taking nothing away from either of the competitors. They both play very well. They both play very strong. Both very talented. Mr. Man is a champion until the next volume. Volume 6. Again, I'm sure you can check the website or talk to the GOAT Community Italia Discord managers and find out when the next series is. I would love to be there myself. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. It's been a pleasure to be here and do this and provide the commentary for this video. I had a blast. Also, if you can, go ahead and check out my channel and see me trying to learn how to get back into the competitive Yu-Gi-Oh scene and become a better GOAT format player myself. A lot of Italian players have reached out to try to help me on that quest as well. So again, thank you for tuning in. It was a blast. It was a blast. Until the next time, keep playing GOATs. I've been JDZ. Thank you for watching.